There comes a moment when you see your life clearly, not in a harsh way, but in an honest way. So maybe it's a moment when you look around and you realize other people are living the life you want. They have the loving relationship, the health, the success, the freedom, the joy, the adventure, the ease that you deeply want for yourself, but you're not living it and you feel it. You realize there's a gap between how you're living and how you want to be living. And once you see that gap, you can't unsee it. But this is the moment when real change becomes possible. Not in the awareness of the gap, but in the decision. Because awareness without decision just keeps you in the same gap, right? You're just more aware of it. But decision changes everything because a new decision creates a trajectory change. Okay. A new decision creates a new experience. A new decision propelled forward creates an identity shift. And when you experience an identity shift, your life shifts, your life changes because you're different. Okay. So if that was all it is, though, is making a new decision, then why don't we do it? Because decisions can feel scary, especially a new decision. Okay. A new decision can feel scary because it's the unknown, it's the unfamiliar. So what happens is we just go back to what's familiar, right? The devil you know. But here's the truth, it's the devil you know that's creating the gap between who you are and who you want to be, between how you're living and how you want to live. So, yes, new decisions feel unfamiliar, but unfamiliar is where your life changes. If it was familiar, you'd already be living it. So, if you're in that moment right now where you see the gap, where you feel the gap, where you know something needs to change, this is your moment to choose a new decision, that closes the gap. Because without realizing it, what happens is we are unconsciously always making the same decisions over and over again. Okay. We're making the same internal compromises. We're making the same decisions of self-abandonment. We're creating the same fear and unworthiness is quietly driving our decisions. So life does change because life is always changing, but it just changes to more of the same. So it's a different year, but it's the same struggles. It's the same patterns. It's life on repeat, a life you get through instead of a life that you actually live. Another year lived in the gap. Or you make a new decision based on what's possible, not what's familiar, and a new decision that's made from who you're becoming, not who you've been. A new decision like, I'm ready to learn how to feel safe being happy. Because in truth, it's the fear of the other shoe dropping that's holding you back. Maybe it's a new decision like, I'm ready to no longer be willing to keep excluding myself from a beautiful life. Because if you're in the gap, you have been excluding yourself from a beautiful life out of unworthiness, out of believing that your beautiful life comes with a price, or that beautiful life that you desire isn't possible for you. Okay. Maybe it's a new decision like, I'm ready to know myself, trust myself, and actually live the life I want without guilt or apology. Because deep down, you already know that life is the life you want, the life you want to live. But to actually live it, you need more than a new decision. You need a path and you need a process. Because otherwise, we're creatures of habits. We like to stay with what's familiar. Our brain likes to repeat what's familiar because it interprets it as safe. So if we don't have a path and we don't have a process, we will fall back into what's familiar. So you need a way to become the woman who knows and trusts herself so you can make new aligned decisions with clarity and confidence and self-trust. That's what the Magnificent Circle is. It's the path, it's the process. It's where you release fear and limitation and step into full ownership of yourself and your life, the life you crave, the beautiful life that's on the other side of the gap, right? A life where you belong fully to yourself, where you know what you want and you trust yourself to create it, where you no longer feel powerless, you feel empowered because your magnificence is you loving yourself, being who you want to be, having what you want to have, experiencing what you're here to experience, and living the life you want to live. Because your soul is not here to make do. She's not here to live in the gap. She came for the full life experience. And I will tell you something. For much of my life, I believed the opposite of that. Even as a kid, like I remember being 7 years old, sitting on the end of my little single bed, looking at my orangey yellow bedspread with a crocheted Afghan over the end. It was very 70s, right? And I remember thinking, life is just one hard thing after another. That was the conclusion I came to at 7. And I can tell you, it took me decades to undo that belief, to finally come to understand life is meant to be beautiful. It's meant to be joyful. It's meant to be fulfilling. It's meant to feel alive. Yes, there will be heartbreak. Yes, there will be loss. That's part of the human experience, but it's not all of it. We've been conditioned to believe it's a whole lot of struggle for a little bit of happiness. But actually, it's the opposite. Life is meant to be a whole lot of contentment and joy and freedom and aliveness. And when challenges come, it's the contentment, the joy, the freedom, aliveness that carries us through, that gives you the resilience to navigate the loss and the disappointment, to recover, to come back to your baseline of contentment, joy, freedom, and aliveness. That's where you're meant to live, not in the gap. Because choosing yourself and what you want isn't just a one-time thing, right? It's a way of living. It's how you make decisions. It's how you hold boundaries. It's how you build and live your life. So you are no longer living a life you are resigned to. You are fully living a life you are excited about. Together, this is what I help you create step by step in the Magnificent Circle, in the NCMC, as we call it. Okay. I help you create this step by step in real time in your real life so that living the magnificent life you crave isn't something you're just trying to do. It's what you live. If you're ready for that, then come join us inside the Magnificent Circle. The Magnificent Circle will change how you know, trust, and see yourself. It will change the relationship you have with yourself. And when that changes, your life changes because the relationship you have with yourself creates everything else in your life because you create your life. Inside the MC, inside the Magnificent Circle, you will embody how amazing it is to be you. Okay. And allow your magnificence to fully come into a bloom, unapologetic bloom. Okay. Your life will belong to you and you will live it and lead it with intention, clarity, and confidence, knowing, loving, and trusting yourself, feeling safe, living from your own inherent worthiness, fully belonging to yourself, and empowered to create the life you previously thought was unavailable to you, the life that's on the other side of the gap. Okay, that's what you'll experience inside the MC. If that calls to you, click the link below and I will see you there. And until next time, remember, resigned is not your destiny, and something magnificent is absolutely going to happen today. So expect it and celebrate it.